Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. My name is David.
My name is Zach.
I'm Mary.
And I'm Ted.
And this is where we talk all things Star Wars. And specifically for this episode, we're going to talk all things Spacecon 2026. But before, of course, we get started, we want to mention all of our top tier Patreon members, starting with Liam McCallion, Kevin Leininger, Deb McCaffrey, Maya Morris, Adam Haber, Cam from Indiana, Mariana Tia Arnold, Alex Blundell, Indiana Solo, BC Doomit, Sean Smith, and our newest Patreon member, Adriana Verano. Thank you so much for your awesome love and support out there.
Yay, Adriana.
You guys helped us tremendously this weekend at Spacecon with buying stickers and prizes for the wheel. We'll discuss all that a little later. And of course, our awesome sponsors out there, Legion Sabers, legionsabers.com, where you can get all your lightsabers and lightsaber needs. Legionsabers.com, use the code STUFF at checkout, and you will get a discount of some kind. I'm not quite sure what it is at this point, but it's been a percentage off. It's been a coupon before in the past, so check them out. Use the code STUFF. Something cool will happen. All right, so I believe this is, I asked you earlier, Ted, this is the third Spacecon that we've done, correct?
That sounds accurate.
And I think it's accurate that we do have Ted on this podcast, because without Ted, we wouldn't have this opportunity at Spacecon. So I'd like to formally thank you, Ted, for having us
Thank you, Ted.
at your booth.
Thanks, Ted.
You guys are welcome.
I think we should thank Ted for a lot of things, including getting us backstage.
Yeah, so we do have a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to break this up into about 4 podcasts. So we're going to try and stick to what's in the title at the top. Very loosely try, I think. But yeah, James has joined us as well, in case you guys didn't know or watch us on YouTube or Instagram. He is here. So the big thing with this year at Spacecon was the fact that all of the hosts from the Star Wars Stuff podcast flew in, and I was the only one that drove in. But Zach flew in from Michigan, Mary flew in from LA, James flew in from LA, Craig 5 flew in from Florida, and we were all there. And I asked Ted, is it okay if we had a little bit more room? And he did accommodate us, thankfully. And of course, there's limited chairs, but I think we kind of handled it appropriately. And we treated this as much as we could as a podcast retreat. Because there's a lot of chaos at the convention. But we did have some interesting conversations. Mary, we got to thank her a lot too, because she is the one that organized the Airbnb.
Yeah.
And our first conversation that we had there, I don't think any of us knew this, but we are all the baby of the family / only children situations.
Yeah. I'm the baby of 2.
Yeah. And I'm the baby of my family. Plus, my brothers were way older than me, or are older than me. So I was essentially kind of like an only child growing up.
Zach,
James?
you're the baby, right? No, Zach
the
wasn't
middle.
there for that conversation.
I'm the middle, but everyone thinks I'm the oldest, so I'm kind of the opposite.
So Zach
So
wasn't there
tall.
for that conversation, right? Because
That's
Zach,
true.
yeah, you came in on Friday while the con was
I
happening.
missed like 30 minutes of the con, and then I showed up.
Yeah, but everyone was there. It was awesome. That Airbnb was awesome.
It was.
It was a
Mary
good one.
picked it, and yeah, I was kind of blown away by it. And you do hear stories about Airbnbs having like an arcade, like a game room, but this is a really nice place.
It's
Yeah.
legit. Those are
The
out
hosts
there,
were really
honest.
gracious too.
Yeah, it was really nice part of town over, I think, where Ted lives, in that area, that general area. So that night, I know Ted organized a couple things. We weren't able to make them. That Thursday was a setup day. I was able to take everything over there. I take a big Husky box. I take a big Pelican box. I got some pictures here that I can share with everyone, so you can kind of see our setup. So this is the traditional setup. It's the wheel, It's a table. The box is at the bottom there. Setup was actually pretty quick because this is, like I mentioned, the third time we're doing this. And this is the second time we've been in this area. So if you look right behind the wheel, you see exit doors. That was a little bit of an issue because every time someone would exit, a big gust of hot air would come through. And when we weren't there, apparently the wheel fell over and it bent the top bar, which maybe made the wheel better to spin because there was less friction between the pointer and when someone would spin the wheel. We didn't have any crazy strong spinners this year, so it kind of worked out, and you can kind of read the prizes there on the wheel. So what did you guys think of the wheel, Mary, Zach, James, Ted?
I thought it was cool. I mean, it's you kind of rope them in like, hey, pay $20 and spin the wheel, but you get an extra free spin if you subscribe to us on YouTube. And that line got a ton of people to say, oh yeah, that sounds like a good bang for your buck. And we're not out here trying to scam anybody, right? That's not what I'm getting at, but there were a lot of people that were interested in seeing what prizes that we had on there, and it was cool to conversate with people over that when Mary wasn't scaring everybody away.
Rude.
I'm just kidding.
So rude. I scared no one.
That is true. You scared no one.
Yeah.
So I think it was a success. We've done it now 3 times, I think, at 3 separate cons, or maybe 4 separate cons. Luckily, we didn't run out of prizes. We've had enough, thankfully, to the Patreon supporters and all the listeners out there everywhere. I maybe said it 1,000 times to people that were on Apple, Spotify, Podbean, Google, Audible, Amazon, because people will always ask us, maybe not the first thing I'm about to say, but the second thing, where can I find you? And we're like everywhere, every major platform. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter. But then a lot of people will say, who are you? What do you do? And then we tell them, yeah, we're the Star Wars Stuff Podcast. And they'll ask, how many years have you been active? We say 8, it's a little bit more than 8, but 8 plus a month. But it was great seeing everyone. We had some return people that, and I'm glad they did this. They brought up the fact that they won some really cool stuff from us in the past, because one year we had Galaxy's Edge lightsabers that went off that wheel so quickly. And they always want to tell us a story about how they don't let their kids play with it, how they have it put up, or how they have it on display. It's always cool to hear that. Plus the listeners, the people that will tell us, and this is the thing that I think we're always asking for, to people to talk to us and say, hey, look, we do listen, we do know about you guys. So it's great to hear that stuff from people. Did anyone have any of those interactions maybe outside the booth?
I mean, I guess I met Cam. No, Indiana Solo. Yeah, but that was at the booth.
Yeah, for sure. I'm so glad that him and his wife, Kate, travel to every single major convention
Good for
in
them.
the country. And I know, I think a lot of people do know that he's been struggling with health issues. And the last time we saw him, he had a walker. He had a walker this time too, but I saw him walk around a lot without it, which is really awesome and encouraging for him. But they're just so sweet. They're the nicest people. Every time that we have our stickers displayed, they always pick up our logo sticker and they essentially put it on whatever laptop or walker. I think I think Kate said that he had some medical equipment that they put our logo on, and then they simply returned it back to the hospital or wherever with our logos plastered all over it. But every time we have a convention, we see them, and they're awesome, and they're really entrenched in the Star Wars community. They're friends with all of our friends, like Joe Caroni and Jason Palmer, and it's just so great to see them. And they're top tier Patreon members, and I always try and accommodate them as much as possible. And they were asking us if we were hungry, if we needed stuff, and I was like, no, I don't want you to do more than what you're already doing, because you contribute so much. And I do have a picture of all of us together. I'll bring that up.
Oh yeah, that one's really sweet.
Yeah, that's us. The podcast picture we took. There's Sabrina and Big Mike in the background. But yeah, as you can see, we were all there, all together. This isn't AI. You see all of us here that are on the stream, minus Craig 5 there. He's busy with family right now, and of course, we took our obligatory picture, James and I, as the founders of the Star Stuff podcast, our founders picture. And I think this one here, actually, let me see if I can find it. It's this one. So there's us with Indiana Solo and Adam Haber on the side. So we had 2 Patreon members, right? Am I correct on that? That showed up at this convention. And yeah, it was so much fun. I mean, we've never had this many people work in the booth, and I've worked all these booths, and just having you guys there, it helped out tremendously with the breakdown and the setup and kind of just talking to everyone and telling everyone about the podcast. So thanks for that, guys. Does anyone else have anything to say in regards to your booth experience? What it was like? I know Mary was your first time. Zach, it was your second time. James, it was like your third or fourth time, right?
James, how many hugs did you give out from the wheel?
Oh, yeah, I didn't know that was real. And I thought y'all were messing with me. So apparently somebody wrote on the wheel, there it is, a hug from James or Moff Gideon or an Ezra Funko. And this one guy got it. That's the picture we took here. And they were like, he wants a hug from James. And I was like, what? And they're like, yeah, he won a hug from James. And I looked at the thing and I was like, all right. And I gave the guy a hug. We both laughed about it. But yeah, it was just one hug. And I really do hope we got him an Ezra Funko or a Moff Gideon Funko. And he didn't just settle for a hug from me, is what I really
I
was thinking about that. After he left, I was like, wait, did we even give him anything? And I felt kind of bad after that. But no, it was a great experience, the convention, and of course seeing everybody, hanging out with everybody, getting to hang out with Zach and Craig 5 as well was a treat, because this is how we talk. We talk here on StreamYard, we text every day, and it was like, oh cool, we all hung out. And how did you say it, Mary? What did you say when you got?
We made it out of the group chat, guys. Yeah. We made it out of the group chat.
So that was nice to hear from Mary, telling it to everybody. Look at us, we're out of the group chat. And it was really funny to tell people, yeah, we're a podcast, and they always, like David said, where are y'all? What do y'all stream? Like, and we always said Spotify, Apple. And I'm not gonna lie, they always looked impressed when we said that, and I was always like, what did you expect? I don't know what they were expecting from us when we said we have a podcast on every channel, and they were like, where? And we were like, Spotify. They're like, oh, okay, yeah. And I was like, yeah. Anyways, but I enjoyed it a lot. And there was the last day, David and I just sat at the booth for almost the whole day, and we just talked to people, and it was really nice. And some people came up to us and they're like, oh yeah, we've been listening to you. And one of our listeners, he said he'd been listening to us, and that we got him through COVID. We got him through 2020. He would put on his headphones and listen to us during COVID. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Because I don't know, for David and I, a while back, it was just he and I just recording. We never even live streamed. We just recorded and hopefully people are listening to this. So it's pretty nice to hear that people back then were listening to us. And but yeah, it was great. And again, Ted, thank you very much for accommodating us and for helping us out and getting us access. And it was really, really cool. And of course, Ted, if y'all don't know, he's a great moderator. He moderated some pretty some pretty heavy panels. There's a great picture of him. I don't know if there it is, with him and Tom Hiddleston. And Craig, was it? I know, Craig, you've done these things, and of course, you and I and Mary were at the Saturn Awards, and you kind of see a celebrity that you've seen before. But does it still kind of get you whenever you're that close to somebody like that, when you're just like, no way am I sitting right next to Tom Hiddleston? Like, does it still affect you in a weird way, Ted?
It's weird. I think I'm delusional. And I'm just like, there's no time. I think there's no time to think, especially if you're on a stage in front of like few hundred people, there's no time to think. There's no time to like focus on what you're thinking. Like, oh, it's time. I can't. There's just no time to do that. It's either like you start or you crash and burn, and we don't want to do that. So
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't think I can't think about it just because there's no option. I feel like anybody would probably do the same. It's just there's no time to think about it. There's no time to stress out or panic or anything.
Well, I was gonna say maybe it's a good thing that I'm not doing it, because I would have been like just sitting there like, I cannot believe I'm actually sitting here next to Tom Hiddleston. I remember when you and I were talking to Chris from Macquarie, we did kind of keep looking at each other while he was talking to us, Ted, going like, "There's no way," and so I wouldn't be able to handle myself as well as you did. So I just want to say you did a great job with the panels, and it was great. It was really great to see.
Thank you, man.
Mary, this is your first time in Texas. This was your first time at, okay, I'll say it's first time at Spacecon, but also your first time in Texas. How was it? How was it when you were there?
Texas or Spacecon? Which one? Which one do you want me to start with?
Let's start with Spacecon, and then if you can kind of pull in Texas, do the same.
So Spacecon, I really enjoyed it as a con, because most people know this, like my first con was Celebration. So I started really big, right? I went to like probably the biggest Star Wars convention there is. And then I did LA Comic Con. So I took a little bit of a step back. And then I did WonderCon. So that was a little bit more of a step back. Spacecon, I think it was the most, out of all the experiences I've had, the most organized. I had so many great experiences talking to the staff with like helping me like swap out some autographs for photo ops, etc. Hayden Christensen's line was amazing. Like for the photo op and the autograph, I even like told the handlers for the autograph, I'm like, this was really great. You guys are doing awesome. Thank you so much for like respecting our time and everything like that. And they're like, yeah, we're seniors. We've got this on lock. So like for Spacecon, it was a lot of fun. It was the most organized. It was the most manageable con I've ever seen. So I highly recommend it for someone who's like, oh, I've never been to a convention, but I really want to check it out. Spacecon feels like one that's a great starting point to be able to do a lot of things you want to do and stuff like that. Being at the booth with you guys was really great. I think that was probably more of like the highlights for me. Like people keep asking me like, oh, what was your favorite thing? Was it meeting Hayden? And I was like, those things were awesome. But the reality was like getting to spend time with my friends, like in person and just like talking and laughing together. I don't think there was a point where there wasn't at least one or two of us like hunched over trying not to like ugly laugh and cry at the same time and stuff. If you guys don't know this, like Zach is hilarious, but he's like secretly hilarious. And you just have to really like have one ear always listening to like one-liners that he will drop.
That is very true. Because he was telling us stories and he would just randomly throw out the funniest sentence during that story and keep going. And I'm just like, whoa, you have to slow down, man. I have to laugh at what you just said.
My wife calls those Zachisms.
Yeah, we heard a lot of great Zachisms while we were there at the convention. Oh, before we go on, Chris is joining us as well. If you're watching us on YouTube, Chris just came in. How you doing, Chris?
I'm doing well. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Doing good.
We're all nerding out about Spacecon, and but hold on, Mary. You said meeting Hayden was cool. Okay, I was very fortunate enough to stand in line with Mary while she was gonna go meet Hayden.
Was I a human? Did I act like a regular human being?
Oh my! Like when she walked out, she was like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh!" And all these people were laughing at her as she walked out, and I was like,
were they
oh
really? I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, because you were too busy freaking out that you just met Hayden Christensen, and then she got a picture of Hayden Christensen, and I jokingly said it's like one of those things you see online where it's like, okay, this is the picture of my wife or my husband and I on our wedding day, and then this is the picture when I met my favorite celebrity, and you see how the smile changes. And I jokingly said, I was like, we got to see what your wedding pictures look like, and then your picture with Hayden Christensen.
I will post those on Patreon. I'll send them to David to post to Patreon side by
so
side.
much more.
Oh no, she was cheesing hard.
You cheesing, yeah, I bet.
She was. I've never seen that smile on Mary ever in my life. And there it is.
Oh,
Look at
already
that.
in the frame.
Let's see.
It's already
Frame.
In the frame.
It's already-
You think I'm playing around? I'm not playing, guys. It's the
Oh
frame
my
going
God.
up next to the
Oh
wedding
my
picture.
gosh. Oh, next to the wedding. Yeah, there we
Next
go.
to our
But,
wedding pictures.
but yeah, it was really cool to see you experience the convention as well, Mary, as well. And yeah,
You will not believe what I caught myself saying today, though, Zach. I caught myself saying, I'm trying to quit.
Oh my gosh. Apparently Sean Gunn thought that was funny too, but that's a story for another time. So
no, I think that's a story for. Is that a Patreon story? Or is that a story
it,
for?
it might be a
another time?
Patreon story.
That's-
So stay
Okay.
tuned, listeners,
Everyone
and you'll catch that story.
There's a few celebrities that we all just happen. I don't know if I think that's going to be a Patreon story. A lot of these are, but there was a few celebrities we just started talking to, and it was kind of like looking around, like this is kind of crazy that we're here with these people, and nobody ran us out. Like we had a really great conversation with somebody at their area where they were signing autographs, and it was one of those things where I was kind of looking around, waiting for somebody to run over and kick us out from talking to them. But
I
we
was
just
too.
got to hang out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a
was like-
story we can share about a celebrity
for it.
and the booth. We had a celebrity come to our booth, Charlie Barnett, who
Yes.
plays Lord and Acolyte. He came by, he did trivia. He got to
He
spin
did.
the wheel and won a Bad Batch
Wrecker.
fun fact, his favorite
yes.
ornament. So that was something that happened at the booth.
That was
And
very
he
cool.
contemplated those because it was Wrecker and
Hunter.
it was Wrecker and Hunter, and he was like, "Ooh, which one should I get?" And it was really funny because you could tell he was like, "I want to make the right choice," and he was really great. He was he came by a couple of times actually. He
Yeah.
came by and said hello to us, and that was really nice to be like, "Oh my!" And then only a few people recognized him, unfortunately, but those who did, you could kind of see the crowd was like kind of following him and coming around him. But
Yeah.
that was a really great experience.
Well, he
Zach-
also
sorry,
he
go
also
for it.
shared that he listens to the podcast and
He
that
did.
he really enjoys us. Yeah. So
No
Charlie, if you're
way.
listening, hey buddy. We miss you.
What else did he say about us in the podcast?
That we were really positive and pro Acolyte, and he really appreciated it and stuff, and that he really enjoyed us, and that he has a really respect for Star Wars and wanted to learn more and more about it. And he went online and found us, and he listened to the podcast to learn more about Star Wars through us and through fans. So I thought that was really great of him, like as an actor, like to care so much about the project you're working on, to put that time and investment, and to not just like, oh, let me read what's online on Google, but to like see what fans say, to see what like people really care about in the fandom. So I have a lot of respect and love for him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who should we talk? Zach.
Yes.
Chris, we'll get to you. What was this is your second Spacecon.
Yes.
How did you like it?
I loved it. It was a different experience than the first round for me, but in a great way. Like it was awesome having the whole team there. I got to meet Chris in person, got to see Ted again for the first time in a year and a half, 2 years. Same with you, James and David, and got to meet Mary and
Like,
Craig.
who's that?
Wow.
Sorry,
Who's that
goodness,
person?
got to meet Mary and Craig for the first time in person. Craig kept asking for piggyback rides, but I kept telling him no.
Oh,
So-
that would have been
he kept
amazing to
volunteering.
see.
He kept volunteering you to give piggyback rides to
So,
people.
so
He'd be like,
it could have been, you could have given Craig a piggyback ride, and I could have picked up James and twirled him around, and we could just gone around the whole con floor doing that.
That's true. Craig said, "Put me on your back like C-3PO and Chewbacca." And I'm like, "But if you do that, you got to bend like C-3PO, and I don't know if you're gonna want to do that." So, but yeah, no, that was a ton of fun. And I will say, one of my favorite memories at the booth this past weekend was me, Mary, and Adam were making friendship bracelets.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess a little disclaimer here. I'm sorry if you walked by our booth and slipped on like a random friendship bracelet bead, because I don't think any of us made them on the first attempt. Somebody was dropping theirs constantly. Like
Me.
I'd never made one before. Mary was a
Aw.
seasoned veteran, but I think she had some long like acrylic nails and stuff, and it was a cool setup. And me, Adam, and Mary were like, "Oh, let's make one for the three of us," and we were all yelling at ourselves for picking them up, and then you just hear it spill, and you're like, "Oh." but it was so fun. It was so rewarding when it was done. But yeah, that was definitely a blast, and I think some people stopped by and made some, and but yeah, it was a cool thing to have at our booth, and it was something that I think set us apart from a lot of other people. But
Yeah, whoever came up with that was a real nice touch. Along with the prize wheel, and then making the friendship bracelets. That's a real good touch. I really dug that.
yeah,
was
same
Mary.
here.
Mary came up with the
Good
friendship
job.
bracelet station idea.
Good job. Good job.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Do you have yours on?
No, I showered this morning and I took them off and left them by the shower.
I'm so sad.
Just so everyone
James's
knows.
face.
I shower. Oh, James is wearing. Oh no!
I don't have
Is
it.
off.
I don't have it on. Yeah, I don't have it on anymore. But I'm never getting rid of. I love David Lozano.
Oh, that's
My friendship bracelet.
Did Adam
I'm
make
never
that
getting
one?
rid of that.
was
Was
what
that?
Adam made.
Did Adam make that?
Yeah, Adam made it. Yep.
Thanks, Adam. Top tier Patreon member.
At Adam, he was cracking us up. He was
Oh.
he was. It was it's one of those things, and like Mary said, there at least one of us at one point was dying of laughter the whole weekend, and
For sure.
that's what makes it so much fun. Chris, what was your favorite Spacecon experience? First off, did you enjoy the Spacecon, and if so, what was your favorite moment?
Even though there were times in the con where I was literally cooking, no, I loved the whole thing. I was very grateful that this year I was able to attend all 3 days. Last year I was only able to go on Sunday, so I was real grateful to be able to attend all 3 days. And really, what these things are for me, it's more. Yes, the content is great. A shout out to Ted. Y'all did a great job with the content. The panels I'm talking about, that's like my one A thing to do at cons is to attend those panels and hear the guests talk, and a lot of the times the questions that the moderators are asking are like, hey, I had that question, so I thought that all clicked really well. So good job. But number one thing that I love about these is being with my people. And I can honestly say that I spent all 3 days with my people, not just, friends that I've known for a long time or friends that I've known for a short amount of time, but just being in a space where I'm with people that I could be myself. I could talk about the things that I like to talk about. That's why I go to these things for the most part. I did buy some cool thing. I bought a sword, I bought a couple hats, and I really love it all. But that's why I go to cons. That's why I'm excited for the cons that I'm going to, for the rest of the year, is to be with my people and be with my friends. And so that is the top highlight for me for Spacecon.
Nice.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Did anyone else get really good merch? Because not just our booth, but I think there were a lot of great booths at this con. So,
Craig got some sweet T-shirts.
Oh yeah.
I'm trying to remember. Were they Lord of the Rings T-shirts?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because they were the big T-shirt booth right before, I guess, for those who were there and you guys here. Like if you're walking towards most of the autograph area was off to the right, like just before, like you'd see the statue of John Cena standing in that area where they had, I think, Carl Urban and John Cena eventually. But that big booth up against that wall there, they had a bunch of awesome T-shirts. I know Craig got a couple of them, but I brought one suitcase that was really full, so I couldn't really take a whole lot back with me. But there was a ton of stuff I was eyeing. I saw some. My brother and I, we used to play with these Star Wars Transformers, and it was a 2-pack of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter and Obi-Wan's Jedi Interceptor, the blue one that he took to Mustafar. And it comes with a little miniature you can put in the cockpit, and then they turn into Transformers, and they were like fighting each other in the box. And I'm like, oh, that would be so cool to get and bring home to my brother, and we could play with them as grown men instead of being kids or whatever. But unfortunately, I didn't bring a ton of merch home.
I got some really fun pins. So I got these pins. They're like Hera, Ahsoka, and Sabine, but as the Powerpuff Girls.
I love that.
Those are cool.
Yeah,
That is cool. That is
There
cool.
was really creative artists, really creative like merch. Like the booth right across the way from us, they gave us a little Max Rebo little 3D printed thing that was really nice. I got this one. So, and then this
Very
was the
cool.
pin we were giving out. as the podcast. So it was a lot of fun stuff to buy, give away, and everything.
I bought one thing. I bought a Middle Earth wallet from
Nice.
British Pixie.
Hey,
Her artwork is just, and her just craftsmanship is just awesome. I'm currently trying to buy a type of bag, like a messenger bag or maybe a backpack. I haven't really decided, but she said she has all the materials. I'm hoping to do a trip to New Zealand sometime in the future and do the whole big like Middle Earth tour that they do. Who knows when that's going to happen? But yeah, that wallet is awesome. That's what I'm using right now. So hopefully we'll. Well, I don't know with my actual like wallet and money situation. I don't know if I can continue trying to look at what she has, but her stuff is awesome, and she goes to all the big Texas cons. So check her out. She's British Pixie, and she came over to the booth several times to talk to us. And she dresses up. She has a really like screen accurate cosplay of Bo-Katan. So you see a Bo-Katan doing like leather work and stuff like that. It's possibly her.
Nice.
We saw a lot of great cosplays.
Yeah,
We did.
definitely did. There was one in particular, though. One cosplay that I think everybody was just kind of like astounded by.
Yep.
I'll bring it up right now. So this particular person was Ahsoka, and we were like, "Can we get your picture?" And she's like, "Yeah, for sure." So we did that. We took several pictures. We posted it on our Instagram. We tagged her. She absolutely loved the fact that we tagged her. It was a really quick interaction. But unfortunately, she got sick, as someone reported, and I don't think she attended most of the con. But luckily, she stopped by. And I've seen these before, but I never think of them or maybe doing them for the podcast. So on the badge, she gave us this little ribbon that we attach to the bottom of our badges. It says, of course, Ahsoka's tagline, "I am no Jedi." She also had stickers, and they were really awesome. So shout out to her. But yeah, it was unfortunate that she didn't show back up. But yeah, there was a lot of Padmes, a lot of Amidala's, some like very, very homemade versions, which I really like seeing those. I like it when the fans really try and attempt something with like just around the home materials and show up with it. I always love that. And I love seeing people in cosplay dressing up for these cons, and especially in June in South Texas. It's super hot. Who knows how long they waited outside? But yeah, it's always super great to see people show up in their cosplay.
yeah,
And
I
I
can't
think the
believe
first-
people waited outside for certain things. We were just to walk between buildings outside was enough for me.
Yeah, it was crazy. The people that were queued outside for like the big paid panels in the late afternoon, I felt so bad for them. That was just, the heat was just crazy. And it's not just the heat. It was a pretty humid weekend, so you have to battle that as well. And we were battling it inside. You know what I mean? So yeah, overall, the weather, temperature wise, was a little hard to deal with. But hey, we made it. We survived. We're in one piece. We're back home.
Yeah.
I say that cosplay, the Ahsoka was actually my like 1A. That old Ben Kenobi.
Oh yeah.
I loved
Yeah.
he just, physically he was him. And then all he had to do was put the costume on and boom, old Ben Kenobi. You could have literally put him in the movie and he would have passed with no problem. I thought
For
that was
sure.
excellent. Yeah.
I think someone asked him, "Oh, how long did it take you?" Maybe it was Zach or Adam.
Yeah,
They
it
asked
was
him,
me.
"How long did it take you to make this?" And he's like, 65 years.
Good answer.
I think his name is Dominic's, and he won the cosplay contest. So shout out to Dominic.
on
He
him.
looked fantastic. He did tell us a
Yes.
pretty funny story that he would every once in a while say he was Alan Guinness, the brother of Alec Guinness, and that was one of my almost ugly laugh moments when he brought that up and came and talked to us at the booth. I thought that was hysterical. But he looked like he could have been Alec Guinness's brother for sure. So
Absolutely. It was funny. I would run into him on the expo floor, and he was like, people just keep trying to give me things. And it's like, as soon as he said that, he was near this artist's booth, and he was giving him one of his prints of the duel on Mustafar, and he's like, "Hey, will you take this, please?" And I was like, he's like, "See, they just keep giving me stuff."
Wow.
It sounded like he had a great time.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he was taking around our booth quite a bit, and it was great that he had like a really good sense of humor as well, and he kind of got the whole vibe of the con. And happy to see him win. Happy to see a great costume win.
Absolutely.
Wink to Adam out there. And the numbers, we were told how many people attended the convention, and I'm not sure if Ted has like the final numbers, but we were told 6,000 on Friday, then 10,000 on Saturday.
Wow.
I don't have any final numbers, but I was told it's the biggest event they've put on to date.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'd believe it because immediately on Saturday, like it was like the floodgates were open and it was bang, you're right into it. And it was great. It was awesome. But I could tell it was significantly more packed on Saturday, and it was cool to see a sea of people walking around.
Yeah. VIPs, I believe, sold out for the weekend, and then Saturday general attendee badges sold out for Saturday.
Wow.
So massive Saturday.
And speaking of Saturday, it was a very unique situation due to the fact that my team, the San Antonio Spurs, and Ted's team, were playing Game 5 of the NBA Finals for the championship. And it was happening literally 50 feet away from the expo hall where we had Spacecon. So celebrities were going to go to that game automatically, that you've probably seen online and on TV. And celebrities from Spacecon also wanted to go to the game. And I think in particular, Hayden Christensen, I believe, was invited, either invited by the Spurs or co-invited or asked to go to the game because he was seen at the game holding a custom jersey that the Spurs gave him that said Christensen on the back of the jersey with, I believe the number was it 26?
Yeah, it was 26.
And then everyone's comment was, why is this number not 66? Which, of course, it kind of makes sense both ways. But he went there, and I think he exited his panel that he had that night a little early. And he made the announcement. And someone gave him a Go Spurs Go hat as well. He was wearing that. It seems like if you give, this is a pro tip here, if you give Hayden Christensen a cap, he will wear it, apparently. Because every con I've been to, he's wearing a different cap. And it's always a unique cap. So I don't know. Maybe you want to give him a cap in the future. So yeah, he did the panel with Ian McDermott, also with Jimmy Smith for the first time ever, very first con. And I think a lot of people asked him, how was your experience? How's it going? And I think he had nothing but positive stuff to say about San Antonio and the con, which is great to hear. And I think Zach mentioned maybe this is going to spark him to do more stuff because he's only done San Antonio. And, of course, he's Bell Organa, and he's done so many other things. NYPD Blue, he's acted in so many TV shows, movies. Yeah, Sons of Anarchy. So it was great to see him. I love the fact that he came down. But yeah, the Spurs game provided an interesting dilemma because the Spurs usually use the parking lot that Spacecon uses. So a lot of the people that attended Spacecon that day had to park across the street, which was a longer walk, more in the heat, and then also leaving the convention. It was during the middle of the game, so the traffic wasn't as hectic. And I actually just drove home because the previous night we all went out to dinner, and then I joined Ted to go back to his hotel, and we ran into a couple celebrities. And like Zach said earlier, that's a discussion for another time, and we'll probably go into a little bit in depth in that. But I was awake, or I slept for only 4 hours, and I told the guys I'm going home. I'm going to watch the game, then just go right to bed. And I got a lot of great sleep. But Craig 5, who can't really talk about it or defend himself here, he went to the game. So he is from New York. He got to see a major sports franchise lift the trophy, which is incredibly rare. But he got to the game, I think, during the second quarter, and he told me, and I think a lot of people have seen this online, but there was a dad and son who were sitting in his section that got chosen by ESPN to go down and to sit on the court. And
That's awesome. That's real awesome.
when Ted got, or not Ted, Craig got there, he sat in that seat to avoid sitting further down and like disrupting people. And then the people next to him told him, hey, you know what happened to the people that was in your seat prior to you getting here? And they told him the story. But he sat at the very, very top. He paid a lot of money, but not a lot of money for the finals. And the wild thing is afterwards, he had to figure out, and correct me if I'm wrong, Zach and Mary, I think he's told you the story, but he was trying to get an Uber back to the Airbnb, but
Impossible.
they wouldn't go to his location because everyone was trying to Uber, and it was just madness. And he ended up trying to walk downtown, and then he found a scooter that he was trying to ride to a location where an Uber would pick him up. So the picture is this. How old is he? Is he 50? A 50-year-old
He's
man
in his 50s.
in an unknown major city in America he's never been to. He doesn't know the lay of the land. In a, I guess you could say, hostile environment for the opposing team's fans, riding a scooter downtown in the dark by yourself. That's what Craig's dilemma was. And luckily, we can report that he did survive it. He was able to get an Uber back to the Airbnb, and he lived to tell the tale. And that's an incredible story.
I got to say, shout out to Ted, though, because he was calling me, Ted, Jose, and Adam were all hanging out. We were waiting for, we watched the rest of the game together, and we were waiting for Craig to get back to us. And he calls me. He's like, what do I do? What do I do? It's like, give me the phone. So then he starts talking to Craig. Is like, listen, dude, you got to do this, 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 and this. It's going to sound stupid, but you got to do it. And it sounded like the instructions that Ted gave to Craig worked, and eventually we saw his smiling face pop out of that elevator.
Awesome. Yeah, I think I was there when he showed up. Yeah.
Just kidding.
I skipped all that. I went back to the Airbnb, got myself dinner, and crawled into bed to avoid all of it.
It actually wasn't too bad. I was very surprised because I've been in San Antonio when finals games have happened, especially like with the Lakers. And yeah, when they won against the Lakers, it was pandemonium. When they lost against the Lakers, it was pandemonium. It's just because it was the Lakers. And I was expecting something similar because, these are, the Knicks. And no, it was actually very tame. Nothing serious at all.
We heard a couple cop cars from where we were sitting.
Where we were 2 miles away was tame, but like in the streets of downtown San Antonio, there was fights, and we swear we heard a gunshot where we were sitting. And yeah, ambulances, and I would not have want to be where the chaos was, but yeah.
And did we see some random fireworks as well?
Yeah, multiple places were throwing fireworks out.
Yeah.
But apparently it wasn't the Knicks who were celebrating. It was San Antonians like over celebrating the Knicks celebration. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that's the way to do it. We don't care that you're happy. We're going to be happier than you guys are, and take that.
Right.
You were mentioning celebrities that went to the game. I'm trying to remind myself who was there. We
Giancarlo.
He was a guest of the Spurs. I know that for a fact because I was told that. Giancarlo Esposito went. David Duchovny went. And somebody also said Tom Hiddleston also was at the game.
Oh, wow.
And Sean Gunn as well, yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah, in fact, some celebrities wrote it in their contract. I'm not showing up to Spacecon unless I can get tickets. And Game 5 wasn't promised, so... And that was the last game of the series. Yeah. So, yeah, that was Saturday night. Ted did an incredible panel with Tom Hiddleston on Friday, and then Saturday was the Ian, Jimmy Smits, and Hayden panel. Hayden left early, of course, and then Sunday came. I think we all kind of got in a little late, but we still had a pretty good turnout. We still had some free stickers on the table. We had some leftover Spacecon custom stickers that we made. People were kind of getting over the game. There's some Spurs fans in there. Every time I saw a Spurs shirt or cap, I basically told them, "Go Spurs, go!" And we had our moment between us and our Spurs fandom. But yeah, it was really nice. The con went by so quick, and I think the reason why it went by so quick was the fact that everyone showed up. We had so much fun. Like Mary said, we were laughing all the time. And we do get along. So in person, it's even that much more funny. I mean, there were so many inside jokes, callbacks to previous cons. And the great thing is that, of course, Ted has invited us to be at his booth, and we have special access sometimes, just about all the time, opportunities that a lot of people don't normally get, the general public. We do have the podcast, but yeah, I was just so happy. The fact that Zach got to go backstage, Mary got to go and meet some of these celebrities, and I've done it just about every single con. This time around, I didn't do it. I concentrated on the booth, and I wanted everyone to have as good a time as possible. And we, of course, included Chris. He's hosted the podcast so many times with us. So we consider him as part of the podcast, and it worked out fantastic. And of course, Adam, who's not on the podcast right now, or he's only done one podcast, and it was at Spacecon, I think 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We always have a lot of fun with him. He gave us Buc-ee's gift bags. I'm not sure, Zach, did you get to visit Buc-ee's at all?
No, we didn't end up going, but I felt like I did. I went in 2024, so I've been, but I was pushing because Mary owes me a sweatshirt from a bet we made on a previous podcast, specifically from Buc-ee's, but I'll have to cash that in at a later date. Yeah.
So nice of Adam to do that for us. He gave us individual cards and all kinds of stuff from Buc-ee's and bags. And he's great. He's been our friend for a while now, and he's one of our top tier Patreon members. Also, Mary left, but I want to shout her out. She did buy a bunch of snacks for us, and they pretty much all ended up going to me because they didn't want to take them home with them. So one of the things I asked for were the Grogu Nilla wafers, and she brought them to the booth. Here's the box right here. They're all gone, of course. But this is something I couldn't find anywhere, and she found it in San Antonio. So yeah, shout out to her.
Yeah.
And everything else that you guys didn't consume is at my house now. So I'm still munching on all that stuff.
Let's go.
Also, the hat I'm wearing, I was supposed to go and surprise James and Mary at the premiere in Anaheim, but I got sick. Unfortunately, I couldn't go. So she brought back my merch that was promised to me at the El Capitan. I'm wearing the hat right now. It's the Mandalorian Grogu hat. Also, I got a pop right here, the Mandalorian and Grogu. And I got this pen right here. And it's got a big Din Djarin helmet at the top. I'm probably going to use this at our booth from here forward until I guess it runs out of ink. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to her. Unfortunately, she's not here. But that was so awesome. We were lugging around all that stuff. And I think she brought stuff kind of for everybody. She also brought an Angels Star Wars jersey that she collected at an Anaheim Angels game. Anaheim Angels of Los Angeles, or whatever they're called now. Not sure. But everyone rotated and helped, and everyone got to rest and sit down at the con. I know being at a con all day, your feet can just throb and hurt, and everyone, I think, got a chance to kind of rest a little bit, recharge. So I'm just happy with all that. I'm just really happy with the fact that everybody showed up. Everyone flew down or drove to the con. So it was a success. A lot of people had fun with the prize wheel. That worked again. And we also did trivia. And there was a couple times where they went up against Craig. And Craig, I know, is going to say that he let them win, but I'm not sure. So we'll see if when he comes back on and maybe defends himself and maybe says, no, I was being serious, or maybe he was just playing it off. But a lot of people won stuff. We tried to do prizes every hour on the hour for trivia. It worked out maybe 70% of the time we were able to do that every hour. We had some frequent people come by. I also do want to give a shout out here to 3 people that came by and kind of talked to us about the stuff they were doing. Xavier, Dante, and Jonathan. They came up to us and talked to us for a good long while when there was little dry periods when a lot of people weren't approaching our table. So yeah, shout out to them. And I think that's pretty much it as far as the booth went. And like I said earlier, the breakdown was super quick with so many hands helping. And last year, Chris helped, and I was like, "Don't cut the zip ties." And this year, he's like, "Can I cut the zip tie this year?" And I was like, "You sure can." Cut them down. We got our banner down. We got everything packed really quickly. And we were.
Unfortunately, I wasn't able to help because you had so many hands this year. It's amazing. I mean, I wasn't.
Yeah, I remember. You're like, I'm just gonna watch this year.
Yeah, I think I helped lift one of those tote boxes that you had into your truck, and that's about it.
Yeah,
we were hungry and motivated by food to get it all packed up.
Yeah, I started hearing people saying, "I'm hungry. I want to eat," and I'm like, "Okay, time to speed it up here." But as I was walking out the convention, I ran into Charlie Barnett, and Ted and I met him 2 nights previous, and I was reintroduced to him, and he looked at me and he saw me, and the cool thing was he said, "Oh, me and him go way back," and I was like, "That's awesome. A whole 2 days." So I'm glad he remembered me. He was just at the booth, and he talked to the guys, and he spun the wheel, and he won a bad tournament, and hopefully he will be on the podcast in the near future to talk about some very interesting things and some stuff I know you're going to want to talk about that he told us specifically he wants to address. So really cool guy. Yeah, I loved his vibe. Sure.
Super
He's
nice.
into it. It was his first convention too. I have nothing but great things to say about him.
Yeah, he's a great guy. He was awesome to hang out with, and man, he was really insistent on going on that riverboat, man. He wanted to get on that so bad. Luckily, we all met up for dinner, and we were able to kill the dinner and chit chat a little bit, and we made it down to the last boat for the riverboat tour. And man, Iman and Charlie had an awesome time just looking at all of the architecture and the captain telling stories and whatnot. So it was a fun moment, memorable moment. Absolutely.
That's awesome. There's so many things that happen, so many celebrity encounters, chance encounters, hangouts. Chris just said he went to dinner with Charlie. I think he went to dinner with Matt Wood as well.
Yeah, I went to dinner with Matt Wood as well. And then you talked about Sean Gunn. Me and Sean had a very long conversation the night before. He was just standing by a pillar at a bar, and I was there just drinking my drink, and then boom, we just started talking. And so there was just a chance encounter. I doubt he remembers who I am now, but still, for those 15 minutes where we had a conversation, we were engaged, and I thought that was pretty awesome of him to do that. But yeah, overall, the people that I met, the celebrities that I was able to actually come in contact with, talk to, hang out with, they were all good people, great people, fun people. So yeah, it was amazing.
That's awesome.
Love to hear it. And yeah, the standouts for me, of course, were Charlie Barnett and Aman Esfandi, who we have so much more to talk about with those two. Zach had a crazy great interaction with Aman, and like James mentioned earlier, it felt illegal for us to do what we did, but we weren't holding up anyone other than maybe Aman going to his break. But he was so enthusiastic. You could tell he was so much a Star Wars fan that it was just kind of a once in a lifetime thing. It felt like just to top tier experience that we were having where he was talking about Ahsoka season 1 and Ahsoka season 2 a little bit, everything he could tell us, which isn't much, but it was just it was one for the books, really.
Absolutely.
Yeah, as far as that goes. And I think that's pretty much everything. James wrote a really cool article about Spacecon. If you go to our website, starwarstuffpodcast.com, you can check it out, and he kind of details more about the happenings and how it went overall. And a lot of people don't say this about Spacecon, but I think it's almost like a microcosm of San Antonio way. San Antonio is a very large, one of the most populated cities in America, but it still has that hometown feel.
Mm-hmm.
That's what Spacecon kind of is. It has the big celebrities, right, but it still has that small type of mom and pop almost type convention feel. But I mean, you had Hayden Christensen, Ian McDermott, exactly, John Cena, Tom Hiddleston. I mean, you had some really big hitters, and then you have the panels that happen. And I'm a lot like Chris in the fact that the panels are the big thing for me. I mean, because you get to see the celebrity, you get to see them talk, kind of be themselves, and the moderator makes a big difference. And of course, Ted is one of the moderators out there that kind of get the whole job, and that they're there to serve the fans and to ask the questions the fans want to know, and to kind of go with the flow of the guest and really deliver the best possible experience for the crowd. And that's why I told Ted I think he's top 5 panel hosts, moderators in the world, and he knows it. He's shaking his head right now. But
I would second that. The thing that you do, Ted, is that you focus not just on the guests, but you also focus on the crowd. Whereas I've seen other moderators that would just focus on the guests like 100%, which is fine. But then, you lose that interaction that you have with the crowd, or you have a moderator that focuses on themselves. And that I've seen cons where you have that, and that is a complete distraction. And Ted, you didn't do any of that. You handled it all perfectly. You kept the crowd involved. You stayed engaged with the guests. Yeah, you did a great job.
For sure. I agree.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. David knows we've been at the Mecca. We've been at Hall H for some of the biggest moments in like nerd history. So my only one of my few objectives is to bring like 1% of that energy from Hall H and put it in a bottle and bring it to Spacecon and have people kind of feel something close to that. And yeah, I think all moderators should go through like a training, and the training is just to watch like Kevin Smith in Hall H, Perry Nemiroff in Hall H, Chris Hardwick in Hall H. Like if you just watch probably the other 4 top moderators that David's talking about, then it's easy to figure out like what the blueprint is. And so I won't ever be close to those guys. It's not possible, but it's just to get as close as you can to those top dogs, and then have that and bring it to my hometown. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
David, who else is on your top 5? I'm curious now.
I didn't specifically think about exactly who, but you did mention. I've always loved Chris Hardwick. He's always been very sharp and very on point, and of course he's very knowledgeable about all the subject matter that he gets chosen to do panels for. Let me think. Yeah, I mean, Perry's done a great job. Steve Weintraub from Collider, he's done a really good job. He does a lot of interviews as well, and he's at a lot of junkets. Let's see.
Kevin?
And yeah, the fact that we've been to
Smith is not on there?
Who?
Kevin Smith?
Yeah, well, I mean, Kevin Smith, well, he did the Tron panel last STCC, and he was great. He was super on point. He was hilarious. I love the joke that he made about, okay, that opening for the Tron panel here, that budget was more than Clerks 1 and 2 combined.
Yeah, he's actually a great storyteller. I mean,
yes.
I haven't seen him in person, but I've seen like videos, like I've seen like YouTube videos where he explains how he was like filming for Prince for a documentary that never got made. And he followed Prince around for like 2 weeks and just telling the way he told the story, it was like enthralling. He also talked about the failed Superman Lives movie that he was heavily involved in initially, that they asked him to write it. He told that whole story, and he just it just kept me engaged the way he told the story. So if he's able to moderate as well as he tells the story, yeah, he has to be up there.
100%.
Yeah, he's probably a better person on the mic than he is as a director or anything else, which is saying a lot. Maybe Dogma aside, I think Dogma is like a masterpiece. But yeah, he's terrific. He's one of the best ever.
My favorite Kevin Smith movie is Chasing Amy. I thought for an indie movie that is not too crazy, that's my perfect indie movie is Chasing Amy.
Yeah, like I said, mine's Dogma, but
yeah, Dogma was good.
Yeah. I think that's pretty much it, guys. We survived it. Zach made it back to Michigan. Mary and James made it back to LA. Craig 5 made it back to Florida. And what do you know? Craig has a comment here on Facebook, and he's mentioning the Iman Esfandi conversation we had with him at his autograph table. He says he did say Dave was going in places he was surprised with. And yeah, we'll add to that on the next podcast that we do here as far as celebrity encounters, because there's a lot to talk about. A lot of encounters, a lot of chance encounters, a lot of autographs and photo ops. We touched on it a little bit, but we're going to do a whole nother podcast because it deserves it, because there's a lot to talk about.
For sure.
So is there anything else anyone wants to add that maybe I missed?
Yeah, we're actually adding some of the panels to our website. So we have 4 up right now. So if you want to check out the Tom Hiddleston panel or the Star Trek Voyager panel, I know it's a Star Wars podcast, I'm sorry. But yeah, countdowntothegeeks.com, and then head on over to the conventions and events section of our website, and they're up there. And then General Kenobi's Bunker, who probably had the funniest panel of the weekend with
so good.
Charlie and Iman.
Yes.
He's already put that panel up on his page on YouTube, his YouTube channel. So you can visit General Kenobi's Bunker to watch that from start to finish. And I don't think there's 2 guys that are probably better equipped to be guests on a panel. They have the same sort of energy about them, and they both find the same things funny, and so they're very similar in a lot of ways, and it's just great to see those 2 interact with one another.
Yeah, awesome guys, super down to earth.
Yeah, Jose did a great job with that panel. He did amazing.
Yep. Zach, anything?
Man, there's so much to talk about, right? But I do got to say, guys, I forgot to bring my little friend. If you remember at the booth, I had a little friend with me.
Are you serious?
He will be. I have him home. He's sleeping. But he will make an appearance on the next podcast. So I'm excited for you guys to see my friend that came back home with me from Texas. So I'm sure the rest of you guys know who I'm talking about, but he will make an appearance in a little bit.
It's going to be a surprise for me because I have no idea what you're talking about.
You'll probably see it and be like, oh, that. But don't worry. It'll be worth it.
I'm so glad you have my thoughts. You were going to say, oh, I forgot him or somebody took him or something like that.
Never.
Okay.
No, we
were
connected at the hip.
Okay. All right. So that is a podcast, but of course you can find us everywhere. Like we told everyone at the booth this weekend, YouTube, Star Wars Stuff Podcast, Instagram at Star Wars Stuff Pod, Twitter at Stuff Pod. We're on Blue Sky. You can find us on Threads at Star Wars Stuff Pod. Support us on Patreon if you can at Star Wars Stuff Podcast 2187. We're also on TikTok. Also, we have an email address. You can email us anything, anytime that's appropriate. Star Wars Stuff Podcast at gmail.com. We're also on Facebook. We have a page and a group. And if you listen to us on Apple or Spotify, write us a review, give us 5 stars. That'd be great. And I also want to reiterate StarWarsStuffPodcast.com. If you click on the news link, you can read James's current story here on Spacecon, and he has all of his thoughts there. And of course, to our good buddy Ted, CountdownCityGeeks.com. He's the founder. Lots of great articles, interviews. You can see everything pop culture there. There's a lot of people contributing to that website, including some of us on the team. So check it all out. And for Ted, Mary, Zach, Chris, James, my name is David. May the Force be with you.
Thanks, Adam, for the nuggets.
Ooba, ooba.
Adam, I'm still waiting for my bag. Come on now.
And I think you guys live kind of close to each other too. So
We live in the same city pretty much. I don't get a bag.
this is the way. Sponsors, Bucky's.